And a pleasant good afternoon on this Monday, July the 8th, 2024. It's our presentation of the Junior Nexus 14U Gold Medal Match Championship here from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach through USA Field Hockey. And we're so glad you are tuned in with us here as it's Amsterdam taking on Vancouver. Amsterdam with a record of 4-0, Vancouver at 3-0-1 in this gold medal match as we are underway. Matt Hatfield here with you, delighted to be joined by a special analyst guest with me today. Her expertise, she is a member of the U.S. Indoor Development Squad, also coaching in 14U Nexus this event, as well as a goalkeeper and current grad student at American University, Brent Underwood. Brent, great to see you. How you been?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. This weekend has been full of activity and full of great games, and this one will be no different.
For sure, and we'll give you the roster rundown and get your thoughts as we watch this action underway here in the opening quarter. It's 15-minute periods, 4 of them, 2-minute breaks in between each quarter, 5-minute halftime break, as we have two really quality teams going at it today. Amsterdam 4-0, 10-2. They've outscored their opponents thus far. Vancouver 3-0-1, 12 goals for them, 8 allowed as we watch. I believe it's Vancouver in the white, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Vancouver's in the white and Amsterdam's in the gray. We'll give you the rosters and get you set up with everything here. But your quick initial thoughts on what the folks should check out and expect in this one.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, you have a conglomeration of players from all across the country, so most of these players haven't played with each other before. So I think a big part of this is it's all just a learning curve. These teams have had to learn how to work with each other and create presses and build in ways that they probably don't usually do on their teams in school or in club. So mostly just trying to be able to organize and learn to adapt with the people around them.
Let's give the rosters first for Vancouver. Again, unbeaten so far, 3 wins, no losses, 1 draw. They are coached by Noah Den Hartog in numerical order from Fort Worth, Texas. You have Sailor Green of Ford, along with the likes of Harper Brody out of Kingston, Pennsylvania, number 107. Sailor Green 106, 108. Natasha Guo from Houston, Texas, so Ford wearing 108. 109 is Ella Neff from Houston, Texas, so Ford. Another Ford is number 110, Elizabeth Leith from Malvern, Pennsylvania, also from the state of PA, and Pottstown is number 111. Madison Hunt, 112. Mattia Bedouin from Fairfax, Virginia, 113 is Claire Brown from Baldwin, Maryland. Britton Barnes out of Seaford, Virginia is 114. Skylar Neri from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, 115. Viviana Lee, 116 from Westchester, PA. Downingtown, PA's Silvana Ricciardo is 117. Actually, a couple quick numerical changes as I now see. Hunt is wearing 117 today. Ricciardo's 111 as we've got our first penalty corner, and we'll stop right there and continue with 118 in just a moment for Vancouver as we've got our first penalty corner as we are nearing the 11-minute mark of this first period. The first 5-10 minutes, correct me if I'm wrong here, Bryn, often a filling out process for both teams, especially if you haven't seen each other before, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in this moment you're going to have a lot of turnovers, a lot of balls going back and forth. Once you kind of get used to how each team kind of plays in their own style, it's how do we keep possession, how do we get through the presses that the other teams are setting up for us, and how do we kind of keep the ball and push it up the field.
First penalty corner is going to be Ricciardo putting it into play here to Abigail Agostini, number 118, where we just left off on our roster, and did not get a goal there, but a good opportunity, and continue on in numerical order as we close out Vancouver's roster. You got Madison Bolinsky from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, wearing 119, McKenna Nazer from Severna Park, Maryland, 120, and Thornton, Colorado native Aberly Steiner wearing 135. That is for Coach Noah Den Hartog's Vancouver group, as Amsterdam counters with some pretty talented athletes of their own right as we are approaching the halfway point of this opening frame here in our 14U gold medal match. Glad you're tuned with us on our USA Field Hockey YouTube channel, streaming all over the web. Make sure you give USA Field Hockey a follow on all the social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or more commonly known now as X. USA Field Hockey grow the game here. As so far the possession, we'll get to Amsterdam's roster in just a second here, Bryn, but looks like it's been pretty much controlled by Vancouver. As soon as I say that, though, it's going to be a quick takeaway from Amsterdam.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we're going to get back with Vancouver going forward again. However, I think from a quick free hit from the original corner, by the, I think it was the center back for Amsterdam. Gave them an opportunity to kind of set up on the other side of the field and hopefully get a chance to goal. However, we're back on the other side.
Yeah, Ella Neff had it for a moment, then Elizabeth Leith trying to advance it forward. And let's give you the roster for Amsterdam, and they are coached Amsterdam squad at this 14U level. by none other than, as I just lost it on my sheet here, wouldn't you know, Amsterdam's coached by Kaya Sabur. In numerical order for them, Natalia Strumolo, wearing number 76 from Fairfield, New Jersey. A couple of Virginia natives are 77 and 78. 77, Sunny Young from Powhatan. Elise Mormon, 78, out of Richmond. Fairfield, New Jersey's Eliana Salvato wearing 79. Number 80 is Texas product and midfielder Winfried Wilcox, 81. Morristown, New Jersey's Eve Delinsky, a midfielder as well. Another midfielder wearing 82 is Sophie Ann Moore from New Jersey. Here's a chance for Amsterdam as we watch this trio of defenders, though, crowning number 84, and that's Marley Mazur for Amsterdam. We just skipped over, though, 83, Westport, Connecticut's own Caitlin Larrett for Amsterdam. 85 is Alexandra Rada from Manheim, Pennsylvania. 86, Mimi Baker from San Francisco, California. Number 87, Lauren Brusso from Wilmot, Illinois, a midfielder. Another midfielder is number 88, Emsley Binkowski. Keep an eye on her, wearing number 88 for Amsterdam. And rounding out the roster, three more names as we get nearly a shot on goal there, as it's going to be sent back out as it ricochets out to 111, I think it was, for Vancouver. And you have Catherine Nolan, 89 from Severna Park, Maryland, for Amsterdam. Number 90, Kenna Green from Severn, Maryland. And 147, Miriam Eleanor Levy from Chesterfield, the goalkeeper for Amsterdam. As so far, pretty evenly matched gold medal contest we've got right now between Vancouver and Amsterdam, scoreless as we tick down the final few minutes of this first period here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach. What have you seen so far there, Bryn?
The one thing I want to point out that was really impressive from Vancouver was the excellent give-and-go passing down the left sideline. One thing we've been trying to teach kids at this age is how to be smart with the ball and know when to give it up. A lot of these kids like to try and hold on the ball for just a little bit too long, and that's when they get stuck with a turnover off their own stick. But Vancouver did a really good job of passing the ball out wide, creating that overlap, and then sending the ball back in, and that's what got them back up into the circle for another scoring opportunity. It didn't go in for them this time, but I think if they continue to play this way, they're going to find some more success within the circle.
So we're closing in on 7 minutes to go in this opening period. Still scoreless here, but here's an opportunity on the move for Amsterdam. They lose the handle, though, and that one's going to get away from the intended target in Mattia Badun. 112 for Vancouver. A little back and forth tug of war, if you will, around midfield, though. Possession back to Amsterdam. It's going to be swiped away quickly. Nice move there, and trying to advance forward for Vancouver. Looks like it is Natasha Guo. Good stop there as it's Eve Delinsky getting it back for Amsterdam. Amsterdam coming into this one at a record of 4-0, as we mentioned, as they've got their victories to this point, beating London 3-1, Paris earlier today 2-1 in our morning matchup in the semifinals, shut out Athens 2-0, and also getting to this point with a 3-0 shutout of Milan.
Looks like we have a penalty corner coming up for Vancouver. They've been doing a really good job of getting into the circle and trying to create opportunities. And I think this one's converted for them for the penalty corner. We'll see how they go from here.
Second one of the opening quarter, Mattia Badon, Virginia native we mentioned a little earlier, will be putting it in. We got 115 and 116 aligned right next to each other. Skylar Neri and Viviana Lee. One of those two could be the one that gets this entry. Right there in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, it's really impressive at this age that we have kids who are comfortable with stick stopping, especially in an environment where they don't have a team that they're necessarily comfortable with playing with for months at a time. They didn't use the stick stop this time, but...
And that one's going to be scored. It's a goal. Put it on the board for number 110. That's Elizabeth Leaf for Vancouver as she scores it with about 5:20 to go in our first quarter. 1-0 Vancouver taking the lead on that penalty corner opportunity. And just like you were saying, Bren, the fundamentals at this young age, pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times, I mean, with that goal in particular, some of these kids at this age are looking for the perfect shot, the one that's going to go top shelf, the one you see on those highlights in college. But as we saw there, as long as you're just getting the ball on goal, it doesn't have to be the prettiest shot. As long as it has enough speed, it can go in.
For a novice out there maybe watching at home, if you see, I mentioned Lee and Neary in the middle of your screen, sometimes they'll go to someone left or right of that, and they do that in the case there of Leith. If you're the one on the entry there with that, is there any preference you have usually? Do you change it up if it doesn't work the first time or two? What's your thought out there as a competitor out there on the pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, trying new things I think is really important, especially for corner play. However, I think when you get to an older age, being able to understand how the defense is setting up on those penalty corners, finding those gaps and setting up for your offense to take advantage of those plays is going to be really important for executing on corners. As you see up in the college level, there's a lot of strong corner execution, and that takes a lot of time and thought as to this is how this team plays defense on corners. How can we use that and capitalize on that?
For sure, it can separate the good from the great, if you will, how you perform and function in those moments here as it's a quick double team. Amsterdam trying to get it right back, but it's going to be Leith who had that goal moments ago with possession, and now two defenders crowding her along the end there with just over 3 minutes to go in this first quarter, and it's going to be sent out of play there by Amsterdam as we are taking down the final few minutes of this first quarter, this 14U gold medal match with Junior Nexus USA Field Hockey, the championship here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach on this Monday after Independence Day weekend. Hope everyone had a great holiday out there wherever you are tuning in. Alongside Brent Underwood, I am at Hatfield. 84 degrees right now in Virginia Beach. Not as humid as it was last week across this region, at least so far today. And now Amsterdam trying to get into the shooter circle area for Vancouver as they seek that equalizing goal to knot things up at one apiece before we head to the second period. And a nice defensive play right there for the Vancouver as they're able to come up with again, and they might have some numbers here as it's passed up ahead by Skylar Neary. It's going to be received by, guess who, Elizabeth Leith. Little shot there, goalkeeper's going to boot it away, and Miriam Eleanor Levy comes right back to her, and that one's going to be just a little wide of the post area and out of play here as we tick under 2.5 minutes to go in this first frame.
Yeah, Elizabeth Leith has been doing a really good job of getting up ahead and being in an area where her other forwards and her mids can get the ball to her, and she can create a strong reception and get into goal.
You like the chemistry of these two teams, especially the way Vancouver, they're both their handlers and their ones that are getting the passes really in sync with each other thus far, and it's created the couple of corners they've gotten, the one goal, and now they've had a lot more possession time as we near the couple remaining minutes of this first quarter. It was pretty even as we started things off, but around that middle part of the first quarter, I think they got the confidence and momentum on their side. Now Amsterdam tries to wrestle that away here, only trailing by one, and it can be done in the blink of an eye. Vancouver, though, getting possession right back here as they try to move it away for multiple defenders on the near sideline. That's going to go out of play.
Yeah, it would honestly be really hard to guess that these teams only came together about like 2-3 days ago. Based on the way they've been playing as a unit, that's really impressive from them.
We mentioned 12 goals coming in for Vancouver in its 4 games, 10 for Amsterdam. And the goalkeeping a little bit stingier for Amsterdam with just 2 allowed compared to the 8 for Vancouver. Amsterdam getting that shutout of Athens to begin things on Saturdays. These teams have been playing the last couple of days. Temperatures a lot warmer here in Virginia Beach on Saturday and Sunday. Had also avoid a couple of threats of thunderstorms, which I know are still in the forecast potentially for today and a couple of days this week, as we'll have some older age divisions coming up later on here with Nexus Field Hockey Championships. The older divisions will be in action. If you want to stay up to date on what's happening all across the area and with USA Field Hockey, again, usafieldhockey.com is your place for that. Download that Turning Machine app and you'll get scores and the schedule right there at the blink of an eye, right in front of your face on your mobile device. As we have less than 45 seconds to go here in this first quarter, Vancouver clinging to a 1-0 lead as they enter in from the far sideline. It's going to be Amsterdam stepping in front of it. Now it's going to try to be maintained by, looks like 77, Sunny Young. A VA product here from her home state, trying to help her team get back in this one where it's tied up. And last 15 seconds, possession could be in favor of Vancouver here as they try to make sure they don't have any letdowns here as the time will wind down and we get ready for the second quarter. It's going to be sent over to 107, and that is Harper Broody. And the horn sounds. 1 quarter in the books in this 14U gold medal match, Junior Nexus Championship with USA Field Hockey. Vancouver 1, Amsterdam 0. We'll be back in just a moment with the second quarter after we hear from IMG and Osaka. Stay tuned.
Every day, we rise. As students,
7 days,
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
At CHKD, sports medicine is more than just treating injuries. It's a whole team approach to caring for young athletes. With experienced physicians, surgeons, trainers, and rehab specialists here when kids and teens need them most. Our experts help young athletes prevent injuries too, with advanced training and conditioning programs that keep them in the game safely. CHKD Sports Medicine, where kids are more than patients and we're more than a hospital.
Thanks to the Children's Hospital, the King's Daughters, health, healing, hope for all children. Check them out online at chkd.org. It's our 2024 Junior Nexus USA Field of Hockey Gold Medal Championship for the 14U Division, presented by Osaka. You can find Osaka on the web, osakaworld.com. All the hockey equipment, they strive for fun designs combined with excellent quality. It's all about the athletes. The athletes come first. Check them out again, osakaworld.com. Vancouver leading Amsterdam 1-0 alongside current American University goalkeeper and U.S. Indoor Development Squad member, 14U Nexus coach, Brent Underwood. I am Matt Hatfield. Pretty good match so far, Brent, as we are getting ready for the second quarter with Amsterdam in the gray unis. If you're just tuning in, Vancouver in the white jerseys. His first goal was put through on a penalty corner, courtesy of Vancouver's Elizabeth Leith.
Vancouver's been having a bit more success with their possession recently, and I think that goes to show that their connections on their passes has been really strong, and they've done a really good job of taking the ball outside and going around the players on the inside. I'd like to see Amsterdam try that a little bit more. They've been trying to go through the middle a little bit, and Vancouver has been able to read that really well and pick the ball off a little bit. However, as we just saw right there, that was a great attempt from Amsterdam to take the ball inside and then back outside and down the sideline.
Maryland product Catherine Nolan, a back for them, trying to initiate things for Coach Kaya Suber's squad from Amsterdam, which entered this match at a perfect 4-0 in this 14U division. Again, you can find all the scores and results up there on the Tourney Machine app as we've got later in the week. 16U, 18U, U21 going into actions with some pretty good teams broken up into 4 pools. Top of the pools were the likes of Salt Lake City in Pool A, Vancouver in Pool B, Paris in Pool C, and Pool D with Amsterdam. As once again here, Amsterdam trying to threaten here to get this thing knotted up at 1 apiece, and it will be Eliana Salvato putting it back into play. And Alexandra Rada now for Amsterdam. Makes me feel old, bro, when I see class of 2029 and 2030, when I see those out there for some of these athletes. I remember watching and sort of my introduction to sports at the prep and collegiate levels were athletes in the class of 2004, 2006. I say, where did the time go? Pretty wild.
Oh my gosh. I mean, as a class of 2020 in high school, this is making me feel old. I think the kindergarten class when I was a senior was 2032, so we're getting close.
Yeah. I had an old sports writer tell me one time, he says, when you start covering an athlete's grandchild that you covered, then it's time. I've actually done some sons and daughters as far as watching them play in different sports. That one was nearly a goal. Great opportunity. That one just went wide of the net by number 82 for Amsterdam and Sophie Ann Moore. Probably their best look of the day.
Yeah, I think that was a touch off of Eberly Steiner in goal. She did a great job of reading that cross and then getting her toe out to make that save.
And you have to like what she's done so far. She hasn't seen as much action, traffic, if you will, as the other goalkeeper in this one, and Miriam Eleanor Levy. But coming in, we mentioned the 8 goals allowed for Vancouver, the 2 for Amsterdam. So you wonder, all right, if they test the goalkeeper, will she? So far, so good. Pretty good action thus far as we're about 18 minutes through this first half.
Yeah, she's been really strong, really balanced in goal. Miriam's doing a great job of getting her way through the ball and making those clears and sending them out wide. That's a really big point for goalkeepers at this age, is to not only make the save, but put them in places where you're not going to be receiving 1 or 2 more rebounds that could potentially be a goal opportunity.
So Vancouver now will work the far sideline area. They've had some success here earlier in the half, including that goal that was put through at the 5:20 mark of our opening period by Elizabeth Leith. That one up ahead is going to be chased down by guess who? Elizabeth Leith, as she tries to stay into play. One-on-one opportunity, she gets it up ahead, tries to make the pass, and that one just not a great angle, but getting forward and keeping her out of the open field with possession has been a real problem so far for Amsterdam. Other than that, they've kept this attack mostly in check, and now again another opportunity on the attacking third, but Amsterdam's going to pick this one up and be on the move here, as it looks like they're going to get by 2 waves of defenders until the third level stops them, and that's Silvana Ricciardo with the number change from 117 to 111 today. Now it's Viviana Lee sent back out as Vancouver continues to press on. Chance to get in that shooter circle and get a shot off on goal, but Amsterdam will come up here with the stop, and now they'll just nudge it over to what will be, I believe, is that, get a look on that, what number that was. Didn't quite catch that. It's up ahead to Alice Mormon. Now one-on-one chance here. It's going to be passed by Leith. A good step-through job for the defense of Amsterdam as they come away with that one. There's 87, Lauren Brusso, as the planes fly over top of us. Oceana just a couple of miles away from us here at the training center. Midfield now, passing it back is Caitlin Larrett for Amsterdam. Now Eve Delinsky's got it. It's going to take a couple hops. About 10 minutes to go in this first half, and Vancouver pretty patient thus far, not forcing a lot of action where they can be out of position or have a miscue that allows Amsterdam to get on a transition opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. However, Amsterdam's been bringing the pressure a little bit more. It looks like Coach Kaya at the quarter mark probably had some really great talking points, trying to work on that, keeping the possession. The longer you can keep the ball, I'd say the higher the chances that you end up getting the ball down the field. It sounds so simple, but really it's the simple things in field hockey that get you the most success.
And here on the move again, it is Vancouver up ahead. It's going to be hauled in by 108 for them, Natasha Guo. Now Amsterdam gets it back. As a coach and player into coaching, as you morph into that, doing the both roles, you would think tactically it's easier to make the adjustments at halftime, any sport, whether you're talking about field hockey, soccer, spring, winter, fall, whatever sport it might be, you name it. But in the 2-minute quarter breaks, what do you try to do? Is it more about confidence, upbeat? Do you see some little quick snap action adjustment, or can you really diagram anything up for your players in that little 2-minute interval you got from quarter 1 to 2 or quarter 3 to quarter 4?
Yeah, I mean, the sport of field hockey moves so fast, and the atmosphere of the game changes so quickly that you really have to have those quarter time talks about just focusing on the most important thing. Because it's really not a lot of time to be able to have a whole new setup. But what are the most important things that we can work on? What are we noticing from the other team that we can try and capitalize on? And trying to spew it out as fast as possible and make sure that your team's understanding.
Mattia Bedoin, the third penalty corner of the half for Vancouver, gets it in. That one's going to be to the far post area and now to play. But once again, Miriam Eleanor Levy holding up on that sequence. So a little over 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. We'll see how Amsterdam holds up now with Vancouver inside the attacking third, trying to get another scoring chance. There's a good stop and a takeaway for Amsterdam, as that was swiped away by Marley Mazer. But coming right back, it's Vancouver. Little turn maneuver from Skylar Neri. We've called her name out a couple of different times in this first half. Nice feed there, and they have Leith again. And Leith getting closer and closer to net, which has to put the heart in the third, if you will, if you're pulling for Amsterdam, because she's been a real problem in this first half for the opposition.
She's been consistently putting herself in positions where she gets the ball and has space and is able to take it to goal. I find that with these kids this age, especially with the COVID pandemic, that they've spent 2 years in quarantine being able to improve on a lot of their individual skills, their shots, their stick work. But now, as we're about 2 years out, I'd say, of getting back into that return to play, how are these kids able to put themselves in positions in order to be good team players and not just individual players? And I think Lisa's been doing an incredible job of putting those both into play, not only with her individual plays into the circle and getting corners and getting shots, but also making the cuts and putting herself in the space that allows her team to get the ball up the field.
So just over 6 minutes to go in the first half. A little bit of a jolt of speed from a couple of players alongside Leith that have helped them get some opportunities. I believe if I can shout out one of them in a second, I'll get that name that had that chance a moment ago that had the 2-on-1 look. It came up empty, but nonetheless giving Vancouver possession once more. Silvana Ricciardo making a long pass over to the far side, and that's going to head out of play over by the Nexus signage, but Vancouver keeping it here. See if they get into Abigail Agostini.
Silvana Ricciardo actually comes from a long line of Ricciardo sisters that have played at the Division I level.
Thought I heard that name before.
Oh,
It
yeah.
sounds familiar.
I feel like we'll just have a whole lineup of excellent players from the Ricciardos. You have Selena, who I think just finished her 5th year at Michigan State, and then Romea, who played at UNC, and Selena, the youngest of the college players at UNC as well. There is no limit to what the Ricciardo sisters can do. They're excellent players.
Yeah, it's no surprise when you see a last name of an athlete, whatever sport it might be, and that tradition, that lineage carries on. As Skylar Neary has it for a moment, Amsterdam getting it right back. The older brother, older sister, whoever it might be that's performed at a high level, Neary getting it again here. You see the jolt of speed she's provided. Oh, almost had a little pass, short area pass to Viviana Lee. It's going to be in that corner area where Amsterdam will look to dig out of it, because if they don't, it can be a turnover, another chance right there on the board for Vancouver. I'm pretty sure I've heard Binkowski with some members in her family that have performed well in various sports. It is easier, I think, when you've seen the older brother, older sister, whoever it might be in the family, because now they can give you that guidance, having been there before, walked in the shoes that you're about to be walking in or currently walking in. It's, once again, here's Neary with possession. Can she skate by 2 defenders? And looks like she will end up drawing a corner here for Vancouver. It's their 4th of the half.
Yeah, field hockey, I think more than almost any other sport, is really a family sport. A lot of these kids, you have those older sisters, younger sisters, even parents that have played in high school, college, even at the international level. And then you have these younger girls that grow up and follow in their family's footsteps. It's really nice how the community grows throughout through families.
And a big salute to not just the folks at USA Field Hockey who are doing an awesome job again here, as we have another near opportunity on that penalty corner. That was sent like a missile there as it hit the back part of the fence area. But just the attendance of folks that have come out here to Virginia Beach through good and bad weather. Just it shows the growth, the popularity of the sport, and the support of these young athletes, their fans, their family, friends, and loved ones coming out to root them on here. And we saw it with the NCC event. We're seeing it now with the Nexus event, and just the many people. We thank you all for tuning in on our USA Field Hockey YouTube channel as well, whether you're watching live or going back on demand archived. You can again see a lot of the action that's taken place, not just this year but past years. If there's a memorable goal or game, it's up there available. And again, a lot of those things also highlighted through the social pages as well, as it goes out of play with under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Vancouver with a 1-0 lead here on top of Amsterdam. And don't forget, after this one is done, we'll have a little bit of a break period. They might water the turf here again, and then we have the bronze medal match at around 1:15, might be closer to 1:30 Eastern approximately, which will feature Salt Lake City taking on Paris. Salt Lake City at 3-1, Paris 2-1-1, coming up in the bronze medal match here in this 14U division. And possession now starting to be, it's almost taking on a mirror image of the first quarter, Bryn, where Amsterdam had a couple of chances, didn't really capitalize or get to a spot where they could put total pressure on Vancouver. Now Vancouver's trying to be more methodical, it feels like, in their approach with this lead, nursing a 1-0 goals advantage as we approach halftime.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of passing the ball around the back, trying to switch fields, trying to find the open space. A lot of times in this age group with the U-14s, they tend to gravitate towards the ball and ends up with a lot of space on the other side. So being able to teach your players, how can we switch the fields, how can we find the open space in order to get the ball down the field, it's really important to learn now so that they can apply it and find more success when they get older.
Amsterdam's on the move with number 77, Sonny Young, but Vancouver once again halting in our tracks with just under a minute 40 to go in this first half. Now using the near sideline with the defender draped over. Now a second one coming over to shade. It was number 85 on the move there, Alexander Arata for Amsterdam, and they're just searching for that one or two players to be a spark plug, if you will, that lift that they can get some momentum before halftime, even if it doesn't result in that tying goal here, just to feel a little bit better about the situation. And of course, they definitely don't want to fall down by 2 goals here at intermission. And Vancouver looking to just milk some clock here and keep it away from Amsterdam with this 1-0 lead, as it'll be Silvana Ricciardo. Good find up ahead, and then put it away. Gonna pop out. Look at the feistiness, I should say, of Harper Prudy, who's not going to let Sonny Young get possession and move forward. They've had some defenders besides some of these attackers that we've noticed here throughout the first half, Bryn, in addition to obviously Leith, who's got the goal, and we've highlighted Ricardo and Neary that have stepped up when the time is called.
Yeah, for sure. I think Vancouver and both, what Amsterdam and Vancouver have both been doing is their defense has been really strong and kind of limiting the high goal scoring opportunities for their goalkeepers. You can make a goalkeeper look really good by providing those shots that are at low angles, that are hard to get off, and making them look really good in goal. And that's it's really nice when you're a goalkeeper and your defense makes you look really good in goal.
Halftime here in the 14U Junior Nexus Gold Medal Match Championship with USA Field Hockey presented by Osaka. It's 1-0 Vancouver on top of Amsterdam. We'll step aside and come back in just a little bit with the second half from the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach on this Monday, the 8th day of July, 2024. Glad you're with us. Stay tuned. Second half comes your way in just a little bit.
Same as lame. Field hockey players have stick. They've got vibe. They've got that tuning fork in their hearts that goes off when a ball thumps the backboard of a goal. Field hockey is for the mold breakers, the convention challengers, the trailblazers, people who think outside the box and come alive inside the circle. Sure, there will always be those who mindlessly take the road more traveled, think the same, do the same, play the same. Field hockey players know that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and that the strength of the wolf is the pack. We know we're different, and we're proud of it. It's how we stand out. It's how we fit in. Like eagles, we soar individually, yet value family and togetherness highly. Join us. We're the minority of millions that get it. There's a stick waiting to be picked up, lifelong friendships to be made, goals to be a part of, victories, defeats, draws, and more. Stories to be told, with you, by you, of you. There's a field hockey team waiting to be called yours. Game on. Dare to differ.
Every day, we rise. As students,
7 days.
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
Next Level Video, the exclusive video provider for USA Field Hockey National Tournaments. Oh yeah, they've partnered up with USA Field Hockey, and they've got game film and highlight reels. Give that QR code a scan. All you folks out there, just whip out the phone, you can scan it, and it comes right there, voila. And we are ready for third quarter action in the 14U Junior Nexus Gold Medal Championship, where Vancouver leads Amsterdam 1-0. If you're just tuning in, Vancouver in the white unis, Amsterdam in the gray jerseys with the white numerals. Alongside Bert Underwood, I am Matt Hatfield. As Brent, it's been a pretty good matchup thus far. You were just saying off air a moment ago that first quarter, Vancouver seemed to have the flow in their favor. They got that goal with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go off a penalty corner, courtesy of Elizabeth Leaf, the forward out of Pennsylvania. But second period, there were some positives for Amsterdam to build on as they move into this third quarter.
They were getting some more opportunities in the circle than Vancouver was. However, Vancouver came back within the second half of that second quarter and really controlled the possession. Their mids have done a really good job of being able to receive the ball and immediately look up for a second pass. Being able to take those balls and move it down the field quickly is a really big key to getting the ball up down the field into the circle.
So now going from left to right, it is Amsterdam on your screen, right to left. It'll be Vancouver as they change areas that they operate in, and we'll see if Amsterdam can keep scanning and locating and build on that here as this third quarter moves along, and it's going to go out of play. Couldn't be chased down quite by Skylar Neary, who we've called out quite a few times in this championship matchup. A lot of different contributors for this Vancouver team as Coach Noah Den Hertog tries to get the championship for their squad and finish up 4-0-1 for this event this week. And now Amsterdam's on the move into the attacking third. Chance to get something working here with Ileana Salvato. Salvato now moving to her right. She'll make a pass into the traffic area, center of the field. That's going to be tracked down by Alexandra Rada. We're still waiting for the first penalty corner for Amsterdam in this matchup. There was 4 in the first half for Vancouver. And you feel like if they get that one here early in this third quarter, it could really put some things on their side as far as making Vancouver have to adjust to them. Now Amsterdam
There we go.
has that with just 2 minutes into this third quarter, so right on cue.
I think this is their first quarter of the game, right?
It is, first one of the game, and we'll see if they can get it to pay off.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vancouver was doing a good job of protecting the middle on that. However, just unfortunate that it tipped off of their defender right at the top of the circle and created danger within the circle. Sometimes you're in the right place doing the right thing, and sometimes the ball just bounces weird.
Alexandra Rada, the midi, will put it in here with just under 13 minutes to go in our third quarter. She finds Sophie and Moore. Back over to Rada. Now, I'm not nearly as well versed in this as you are. I don't usually see the one entering it on the penalty corners get it right back like Rada did on that sequence.
Yeah, however, there's a lot of different choices for corners, and I actually prefer the ball back to the insert.
You do, okay.
I like it a lot, especially for my team. For my team at AU, it just gets you a really close opportunity on goal, especially if you have that gap from the defensive line in that corner. Great
looking shot there from Caitlin Lair. It was just off by a hair. Well, and it's funny you say that because that's something you hear a lot with basketball coaches on an out-of-bounds play at the end of the game, that the hardest player to deal with is the inbounder because it comes right back to that inbounder sometimes. So you're right, the defense is swinging to wherever the ball is and allows you to get something cooking potentially. Speaking of getting something cooking, Vancouver's on the move again here, and fired with a lot of heat was Elizabeth Leith. She has been on point in this game. That one just off the mark by a little bit, but when she gets a full head of steam, look out.
Absolutely. It was really nice to see. I think that was 116 on the far post. Was that Viviana Lee?
It was, yeah.
She did a really good job of framing the cage and getting in that space for if the ball were to cross over. She was wide open for that shot. And I'd like to see from Leith to be able to send that ball far post, hopefully for a tip there.
Caitlin Larrett from Connecticut sends it up, and that one's going to be eventually pulled in. But now back with it is Amsterdam on the move with Lauren Brousseau. Brousseau being hounded by a little bit of a smaller defender there in Ricardo, but we know what Ricardo's done throughout this match. Now Amsterdam into the shooter circle area. Chance to get another good look on goal, but stepping through with it is going to be Vancouver, as that was McKenna Nazer coming through. But Amsterdam is hanging tough here in this third period. Really, a little more energy, I think, out of their movements. It feels like so many individuals as they've changed directions they're working in, and this could have the charm for them as they try to get this one goal to tie it up.
And what they've been doing a good job at so far is getting numbers up the field when they have those offensive opportunities and getting them into the circle. The more numbers you can get in there and in the proper scoring positions, the better chance you have of getting that ball on goal.
Passed along the far sideline, and that's going to be rolling out of play to the fence area as it hits off the Vault side. Big thanks to Vault and so many of the sponsors that help us bring you so many streaming broadcasts here at the Training Center and Sportsplex right next door to us. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button on our USA Field Hockey YouTube channel if you want to check out some more action coming up later this week. As we mentioned, you can get the schedule up there on Turning Machine, but we have, besides this U-14 gold medal match and bronze medal match later today, U-16, U-18, U-21 games in the coming days here with Nexus from July the 6th, 2 days ago when it started, through July the 16th, a week from tomorrow, as it's a 10-day extravaganza here in the 757 area code in Virginia. Great area for sports and, of course, field hockey taking center stage today as that's going to get booted out. But once again, Vancouver looking to do some damage as they look for their first penalty corner of the half. They had 4 before halftime, but so far in goal there for Amsterdam, Miriam Eleanor Levy has stepped up when she's needed to.
Yeah, Levy's been very assertive in goal. I really like how when the ball's coming into the circle, she's not afraid to step out and take control of her situation. Sometimes you see goalkeepers kind of stay low on their goal cage and kind of let the forwards that are coming in take control of the play and try and react to it. But Levy does a really good job of stepping out and really asserting herself to that ball, and that could be quite scary for a forward who's not really sure if they're going to make it to the ball first or not.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know if we did a 40-yard dash who would win it here, but I tell you what, I wouldn't go against 111. I'm going to go Ricardo. She's got speed in the open field. She'd be, if not the first or second place finisher, she'd be among some of the better finishers that are out there as far as the speed goes. And now it's a tricky one to handle there for Marley Mazer of Amsterdam as she was trying to get a scoring chance brewing. Looks like it'll be Sophie Ann Moore donning the lime green headband today. Check that, it's actually Caitlin Larrett, beg your pardon, as it's going to be pushed out. Now with it, it is Catherine Nolan for Amsterdam. Nolan's pass is going to be intercepted, nearly pulled in. And we've seen a lot of good defensive stops here for Amsterdam as they're not allowing Vancouver to get forward with its attacks.
For sure. I think they do a good job of when they're losing the ball, really trying to protect the middle and getting into that space. When you let your opposition find the middle of the field, especially on a counter, can really open up the field and create a dangerous opportunity for your opponents if you let that happen.
Selma Neff sent that one up ahead and out of play. Now Amsterdam's got possession on its side of the 50. You see a trio of white shirts for Vancouver trying to make this a difficult pathway. That one just going right through the legs of, looked like it was Mimi Baker of Amsterdam, and rolls out of play. Here is Vancouver with Atia Badouin. mentioned Bedoin's name a couple of different times in this matchup out of Fairfax. A lot of quality athletes coming up out of that Northern Virginia area, some of which have competed against some of the better teams from Hampton Roads in state championships and state tournament field hockey games on this surface and others all across the state. Now racing towards it, almost getting to it before it gets hit out. Ella Neff, she out of the Lone Star State in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, there's a lot of Texas girls this year. Texas has done a really good job of growing the game of field hockey down there. I mean, their U19 Texas Pride team took WC in the, or they went head-to-head against WC in the NCC championships. Didn't quite make it out with a win, but it's really going to show that there's a lot of other regions that are really showcasing new talent and are developing their players really well.
Yeah, the game is really growing in the Lone Star State. They have more than just football there in Texas, as we're seeing it with the development of their field hockey athletes in the Lone Star State. 3 players on this Vancouver roster from Texas with Sailor Green, Natasha Guo, as well as Ella Neff. And Amsterdam with Winfred Wilcox on its roster. About 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. No scoring. We've had a couple of corners for Amsterdam. They didn't have any in the first half. Double team comes, and they bottle up. And that's the player you want to double, Elizabeth Leith. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, as they say, but that one's going to be up ahead to Ricardo, and Silvana out of Pennsylvania. She's been a factor throughout this match.
Yeah, that was an excellent defensive play by those 2 defenders in the corner with, oh, I actually just forgot who. Oh, with Leith. They got her to stop and plant her feet, and when you plant your feet with your back facing the players, you create a block out with your own body. They were able to coerce her into that foul and get a free hit coming out.
So the gals in gray from Amsterdam on the move here. Good job of moving up the field there for Amsterdam. Natalia Stromolo. She's trying to get her team back in position to where they can take this one. She had a Fairfield, New Jersey for Coach Kaya Suber. And Amsterdam down by a goal with under 4 minutes to go in our third quarter. Relinquish possession over to Vancouver now, as it's Britton Barnes, a VA native with it. Barnes from Seaford. That time, it's Ricardo going down. Gets back up, and it looks like 78 for Amsterdam is going to try to get something working. Alice Moorman.
That was excellent defense from Ricardo, being able to get up after a foul like that, get herself with 5 yards away from the play, and make an excellent tackle that was both patient and strong. She got her defense out of a would have been a really tough situation with numbers down.
I was just about to say, anytime in sports you fall down, you get knocked down, you get back up, and she did that quickly, swiftly, just shook it off and went on, as they say, next play, keep it going. And that's what I think this Vancouver team has done probably throughout the week to get to 3-0-1.
Yeah, having a short-term memory in field hockey is really important. There's this game has a lot of fouls, a lot of mistakes. So being able to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt and being able to adjust to that is super important.
This has maybe been Vancouver's best game they've played when you consider they were deadlocked with Montreal the first day, 2-2 on Saturday. Edged Mexico City 4-3. The goalkeeping certainly got better later that day with a 2-0 shutout of Lake Placid. 4-3, slipping by Salt Lake City earlier today, and we'll see Salt Lake City coming up in our bronze medal matchup against Paris. But so far, very few real, genuine scoring chances for Amsterdam, and you credit just the entire group defensively, and you also give credit to the goalkeeping, and Amberly Steiner inside there has been on point. Have not had a drop-off or a letdown, if you will, as once again we see Vancouver at the end of a quarter here, the last 2-3 minutes of each quarter to this point, they've controlled the whole tempo of the game.
Yeah, that Mexico City game was a bit of a bummer for my team. They did a really good job of creating scoring opportunities in that game. And they're really showing why they're the top of the pool in Pool 2 and why they're in this championship game.
This is Mattia Bedouin, number 112, out here for Vancouver, getting ready to give them their penalty corner. At least this is the first of the half, right, for them? First of the half? I think so.
Yeah, this is the third quarter.
Yeah,
oh, yeah? Oh, you mean the first corner of the game.
For them of the half, because Amsterdam had the 2. I believe it's their first. Could be their second.
No, I believe you are right. Pretty sure it's their first.
Here it is, hit from 117. Madison Hunt, who had a jersey switch with Ricardo before this game. And it looks like they might be content, even though they have possession on the other side of the 50 here with this 1-goal lead, not to get over-aggressive and have some type of miscue that leads to a run out for Amsterdam. Although here's a chance inside the shooter's circle potentially, as that one's going to take a hop. Amsterdam gets out of trouble. So they get way ahead the other side of the 50. That one will roll towards the keeper, who boots it away with 17 ticks on the clock. Amsterdam's got it back.
Oh, that was almost a really good heads-up play from Levy in goal, being able to understand that there's only so much time left in the game, and the only way that you were getting another possible attempt to get back down the field was to pass that ball and not let it go out. Would have been nice to see her defender receive the ball and then try and find another 100% pass, but overall, I think it would have been. I think it was almost a really smart play.
Scoreless third quarter, 1-0 Vancouver on top of Amsterdam in our Junior Nexus 14U gold medal match with USA Field Hockey, presented by Osaka. We'll step aside and come back with the fourth quarter after we hear from Osaka, AstroTurf, and be back with the conclusion right here on our USA Field Hockey YouTube page.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Back here at the Regional Training Center in Virginia Beach, alongside my partner, Brent Underwood, I am Matt Haffey. We thank you for tuning in with USA Field Hockey. And Next Level Video's got you covered with exclusive video content from the USA Field Hockey National Tournaments, game film, highlight reels, so much more. Just scan that QR code and you'll be good to go. Fourth quarter now about to start here with Vancouver on top of Amsterdam, 1-0. Bryn, the only goal so far was the one with 5 minutes and change, scored by Elizabeth Leaf, the forward out of Pennsylvania. But we've seen some opportunities for both teams. It should be a compelling finish here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had another goal or two within this fourth quarter. Especially Amsterdam's been warming up a lot in this third quarter. They actually, I believe they had more opportunities than Vancouver, although Vancouver was doing a really good job in the first half of really holding the game. But I think this could really go anyone's way, despite us only having 15 minutes left.
I'll give you a trivia nugget here. It's not as good as the chicken nuggets that they sell here at the training center. Hopefully they sell chicken nuggets. If they don't, they need to.
You're making me hungry now, so
I'm
I sure hope so.
Well, they've got some good snacks and food and goodies here. And we've got some great sponsors on board, too, that help provide some food and beverage and all those good things. But only one 1-0 shutout so far in this 14U division that I'm showing today. And I'm looking through Saturday's results.
I have a good guess of what it is.
Sunday. Was it one involving your team or
It
a team you played?
was.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Okay. When you did not take a W in, unfortunately.
The last minute.
LA and Mexico City. Yeah.
Nah, LA did a really good job. They had like 4 corners in the last minute and a half of that game, and they converted.
But think about this for a second. It was 8 games on Saturday, 24 on Sunday, and we've had now. I haven't seen the results from the 10:45 games. So let me just put that out there. It might have been a couple. One on, I should say on field 2. I didn't get a result yet for Rome and London. Maybe I'll refresh it. But you're talking a total of what's that? A good. I take that back now that I say that. Rome and London was 1-0. I see as I refresh it. So there's the second one. But still, nonetheless, to have you're talking 40 games, only 2 1-0 finals here at this age division. That's pretty impressive. I think it speaks to the growth and some of these talented athletes, like you said. They spent the COVID years wisely developing and getting the proper, guidance, structure, tutoring to get to where they are, and their skill level is at least comparable to some previous age groups, maybe even better at this stage, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, of course. I think one thing as well, I think the key to really strong defense is cohesiveness. And I think that's really hard on a team where you aren't playing with players that you're necessarily used to. And a lot of these players are more mid-minded or offensive-minded. So there's been a couple people, including my team, that have had to step up and volunteer to be more defensive players in those back positions that they wouldn't normally play in. So I think that kind of is a result a little bit of that, as well as just having some great finishing skills from these offensive players on these teams.
Nice cross-up move from 118 for Vancouver. That's Abigail Agostini. As a New Jersey product, was able to get by one layer of defense and give them another chance to get on the board here.
Yeah, this will be another chance to really challenge Aberlee Steiner in goal. She's done a great job so far of stepping out to the ball and really making some strong clears. Would like to see her. She's done a good job for the most part of keeping the ball down. She can get some more power through and really finish with her weight forward. She'll get this ball out in no time.
6th penalty corner of the game for Vancouver. As they get it in. Near side area. Along the wing, that was, I believe, 109, Ella Neff. It was Ella Neff. With the initial pass, now with it, it's Claire Brown. She out of Maryland. There's Ricardo getting right there in the fray. She's been around the ball, hovering it almost like a gnat on some food. And just wanting to be in the mix, the activity you have to like right now if you're pulling for Vancouver and watching them compete.
Yeah, she's been working hard. I know a lot of these players switch up positions throughout the games, but I can't even tell whether Ricardo is a more offensive player or defense, because she is really hustling all the way up and down the field this game. I feel like I see her both shooting goals and stopping balls before they get into the circle.
Here's Amsterdam trying to get an opportunity working with Natalia Strumolo, stepping right through. Just a pinch faster we see, but there's Sunny Young coming right back. Prudi assigned in her area. See if she can stop Amsterdam, but nice little turnaround move for Vancouver. I want to give that shot. I think that might have been Claire Brown. I couldn't tell.
With the stop.
Check it out here again on the replay just to see. Yeah, it was Claire Brown, 113. Booted out there from the keeper. And that one just got deflected. Great look from Madison Hunt. And you see the keeper staying after it. Excellent work from Miriam Eleanor Levy.
Yeah, what I really liked is that she kept her footwork small and was able to get across the goal cage really fast with excellent speed and good coverage. She was as long as you keep yourself in front of the ball, it's really hard to move around the goalkeeper when they stay up and they make themselves look big.
It's tapped out of play, so for Amsterdam it'll be number 81, Eve Delinsky, inserting this into play.
Even when you're itty-bitty like Aurelie Steiner, she does know how to make herself look big in that goal cage.
They always say it's not the size of the dog, it's the fight in the dog, or the heart of the heart and hustle over the actual measurements, if you will. And we're seeing that today in a couple of cases, not just with her, but also Ricardo on the other side has been really, as we've talked about, a pest to the opposition.
For sure. I mean, it's so interesting watching the U-14s that you have, and you have some of these kids that are 13 years old, they're growing, they're getting taller, they're getting bigger. And then you've got some kids as young as 11 in these groups they're still really itty-bitty and they still got a ways to go, but they hold their own. So it's really fun to see the wide variety of sizes and height in these kids.
Good combo tackle from Lee and Leith for Vancouver as they're able to stop Amsterdam from pressing forward and getting momentum. Some confidence built with a little more than 8 minutes to go in our fourth and final quarter. Vancouver clinging to a 1-0 lead on top of Amsterdam alongside Bryn Underwood. I'm Matt Hatfield. Bryn, biggest adjustment you would say going from, say, the 14U age division to, say, 16U for a lot of these athletes as they move up the pike here in the next couple of years? What's the biggest adjustment? Is it something in terms of speed, stick work? What would you highlight as the biggest adjustment? Because we always hear a lot of times when you go from the high school to college level, you always hear speed of the game, and even college to pros, they always say about speed of the game. What do you think it is, personally?
I think the speed of the game improves when these kids get older and they realize the fastest player on their team isn't necessarily your forwards or even the kid who can do the best 40-yard dash, but it's really the ball. And being able to understand that and get the ball down the field with passes more than dribbling, knowing which strategy is the right one to use at the right time. But the ball really is your fastest teammate, and understanding that and creating cohesive passes all the way down your field and all the way down your team is crucial for enhancing the speed of the game.
Nearly a 2-on-1 for Vancouver as it was poked away by Leith, but Amsterdam gets it right back, and look at Leith defensively putting her stick down trying to regain possession. It's going to take a couple hops. And now Vancouver coming up with it again, sent ahead by Claire Brown, who's made a couple of terrific defensive plays, and they find that open target one-on-one with the keeper. Oh, and that one just got away. It wasn't a straight-on look from Leith. I think she got it angled more to the right and face up with the keeper there and Levy.
Yeah, and LNF at 109 did an excellent job of being able to draw that center back to her and create that vertical 2v1 with Leith in the back. And then once she had that player drawn, she was able to pass it off with a little bit of a lift to Leith, who just wasn't able to finish it, but that was a great opportunity on goal.
Going back to something earlier, as we watch a player go down for Amsterdam, and then it's going to be scored. A goal is put on the board. Count it for Vancouver, as I believe that was 116. It was. I'm pretty sure that was Viviana Lee who got that goal. We'll watch it back just to confirm, but it looked like that was Viviana Lee that had that goal that makes it a 2-0 lead, and it was Viviana Lee just inside the shooter's circle.
That was an excellent heads-up play. It was really smart by the ref there to let the advantage play on that foul. She could have called it and called the whistle. However, she noticed that who was it, 118? Or who was it that scored that?
It was Viviana Lee, 116.
Lee. 116, yes.
And also down here on our other monitor right there, she gets it just inside the circle and just great angle to shoot it through on the near post side.
Yeah, she did an excellent job of being able to understand that ref was letting the advantage play and just take a shot on goal.
And that was stick side, not glove side, correct, of the keeper, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was stick side. It's really hard when you have a play like that go from a ball in your possession to all of a sudden you're getting a shot at the top of the circle to be able to adjust to that. And Lee did an excellent job of taking advantage of her opportunity. And just when you get it on goal, like, things happen.
No question about it. So that could be the insurance goal. That's just what the doctor ordered to give Vancouver a gold medal here today as we hit under 5 minutes to go. A 2-0 lead to go with that first period score from Elizabeth Leaf. It's Viviana Lee, the midfielder from Pennsylvania, getting on the board as Vancouver now has a little more breathing room in this matchup. The Westchester, PA product. Going back to something earlier before that goal, I was wanting to hit on with you. We hear all the time film study, whatever level it's professionally, collegiate, high school, prep, rec club, you name it. At this level, there's probably not a ton of that, right? You do more as you get towards that 19, 21U level than you would say as far as the actual real in-depth, comprehensive type of film study. Although you probably do show some little things you can point out in footage, right, with your players?
For sure. I think less of it is about these kids, like the kids' age, and more just a lot of these kids are still in middle school. Most of these schools don't really have the funds or really the ideas to go and film their middle school games, and even in the club level, there's not really the opportunity to film all your games unless it's for recruiting.
Yeah.
So when you get into the older levels and in high school and college in particular, where you're usually filming all your games and your players have access to that, being able to take a look at that and really self-coach and also talk with your coaches and understand their perspectives. I think it's really good to have a mix of being able to listen to your coaches and understand where they're coming from with decisions that are made in the game, and also being able to watch and analyze for yourself as to what decisions would you make differently on the field. What led up to a goal or a corner or an opportunity to really change the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The resources matter a great deal when you have all those things at your disposal, and the luxury when you have that stuff at your disposal matters a ton here. As it's going to be Vancouver getting back out on the hop with McKenna Nazer. And now Amsterdam trying to get one on the board to avoid a shutout. It's going to be hard to get 2 goals. Well, certainly going to be hard to get 1 here in this amount of time, but Amsterdam's certainly not going to quit here and fight to the very end here, as this is now a 2-goal lead for Vancouver. That one's going to be poked away. Another good job there. I believe that was Abigail Agostini here trying to get it back to Sunny Young, who has certainly put forth a lot of effort for her team today. We've called her name out more than a few times in this contest. And she's given Amsterdam a chance to be competitive and have a chance, as is Eve Dolinsky, 81, who we mentioned a little while ago as well. That one gets out to Larrick.
Yeah, what I really love about this age group, and I think sometimes the older age groups can take from the U-14s, that no matter what the score is, that you continue to work hard and continue to fight for the ball like it's 0-0. I found that even in the games where there's a little bit of a bigger scoring gap, that these kids are still working their tails off to keep fighting and even get a goal. Even just one consolation goal still means a lot to these kids.
Right, it's almost like you might not have the maturity or experience in the older divisions, but it's that innocent passion and enthusiasm that you see exhibited time and time again here as we watch Vancouver with this 2-0 lead. They're not satisfied for that. They want a third one here to put this completely out of reach. It's going to be Elizabeth Lee trying to chase it down, but look at the hustle from behind. I think that was 85, Alexandra Rada? I think so. She didn't quit on that play. That was a heck of a job.
Yeah, that was an excellent initial tackle. I think it's really hard, even all the way up to the college age, to be able to run back on a play and get a strong tackle that doesn't create a foul. And she did a really good job of timing that and getting her stick on the ball without impeding on Lee's stick or any of her play. However, it's a little bit too short as she ends up causing a corner
Penalty
anyway.
corner.
It's hard.
It looked like me and my dad trying to get to the buffet line. I was trying to just cut him off and get first in line. That's what she looked like, trying to get in that hustle play, just trying to beat him to the first in line.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would just whack me out of the way. So that's how that goes.
Yeah, it's all a game of risk. Sometimes you want to try and go and stop that ball.
Well, is the risk greater than the reward? With 50 ticks to go, it looks like Vancouver's going to get the reward, the ultimate prize here, the gold medal, barring something completely unforeseen, as they've got their 7th penalty corner of the game, second here of this period. Amsterdam with just 2 in this game, both of which came in the 3rd quarter as they get it into play here. And they'll be really smart with their passes and concise areas. As that one's going to scoot through for another goal. Is that Leith's 2nd of the day? I think it is Leith, number 110 with that goal. Looks like it is.
Yeah, I'll take
How about that?
Just to be sure.
Looks like that's Leith. Couple of nifty passes here as they got it to her. in the short area. I think that's 109 with the assist as well, Ella Neff. So we'll give it unofficially to Leaf as we have hit triple zeros and they run onto the field to celebrate. Gold medal goes to none other than Vancouver, a 3-0 victor over Amsterdam, scoring 2 insurance goals courtesy of Lee and Leaf. The L's getting it done, but they get a W to move to 4-0-1. Amsterdam wrapping up a fine week as well at 4-1. A pretty good game here, as Brendan, this was fun, and two teams with a lot of talented athletes that we'll be watching years to come.
Yeah, they were really even throughout this game. I don't really think the scoreboard necessarily represents how close this game was in possession and scoring opportunities. However, Vancouver was just able to connect with that back of the goal cage just a couple more times.
So from a broadcast partner, Brent Underwood, I am Matt Haffey. We thank you for tuning in. Also want to thank Ethan Simon on camera as Vancouver takes home the 14U gold medal here in this Junior Nexus Championship through USA Field Hockey presented by Osaka. Again, if you missed any of our game today or want to watch other contests that will be forthcoming, you can always go on our USA Field Hockey YouTube channel and check it out. And we are going to sign off now as the gold medal goes to Vancouver, a 3-0 victor over Amsterdam. Don't forget, we've got the 14U bronze medal match coming up in just a bit with Salt Lake City versus Paris. Until next time, this is Matt Haffett along with Brent Underwood saying thank you for watching this presentation of USA Field Hockey. Take care, everyone.
Every day, we rise. As students,
7 days,
as competitors, but most importantly, as people. And sure, some of us will be talented enough to shock the world from an arena floor. But it's more important that all of us be strong enough to get up off of life's metaphorical one. That's why, while here, we are equipped to succeed, to ascend as leaders in the greatest race of all, the human one.
We're gonna, Dave, Mary Beth, we're gonna walk.